Hello and thanks for stopping by the Sister Cousins Lifestyle channel. My name is Sandy and in today's video we are at home and I thought we'd have a discussion today about home decor trends. For me, it's more important to have purpose over aesthetic, timeless originality, and authenticness. That is so important to me in my home. And as I've shifted to that over the last couple years, I've noticed that I have a greater appreciation for how I've curated my home, and I'm curating my home in my own individual style. I hope that makes sense. But with that being said, I used to purchase things that would come out and, you could say they were trendy or the hottest thing or whatever. And I purchased some things over the years in my home that I still have. And I want to talk about those items today. Like, was it worth it? Because some of them were kind of splurge items that I've had now for some years. Or do I have regrets? And I want to talk about it because there may be some things that you may have on your list. And so I'm going to talk about the pros and the cons or whatever. So we're going to just kind of go around the house and talk about some of those things. And I picked out 5 things within my home that I want to really highlight that I've purchased. Now, some of them I purchased the original and some of them I purchased a item that was kind of similar or the item or a duplicate of the item, if you will. So you'll see as we get into the video. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, about 5 or 6 years ago, restoration hardware was all the rage. It was trending everywhere. The restoration hardware look, restoration hardware dupes, all of the things. And I love going into their actual showroom just to look at their style. I fell in love with the decor style. It's minimalist, it's timeless, very, very classic. And I just fell in love with it. And when I moved into my home and I was looking for lighting that I wanted to go with, I knew that I wanted to replace my kitchen lighting like right away from the builder grade. And I fell in love with these raindrop pendants at Restoration Hardware, but I knew that there was no way that I was going to be able to spend that kind of money for those items. But I absolutely love the look of them, the aesthetic of them. They were just gorgeous to me. So I went on the hunt, as I always do, trying to find a more affordable replacement or alternative for the ones at RH. And I was able to find one at that time. I found it on Amazon and they're pretty good. I have them in my kitchen. I've had them in there now for some years and I still love them. So this was an item that I would say was worth it to me on the low end. So getting a dupe or whatever worked out perfectly. I still got the aesthetic at a fraction of the cost and I still love them. And that's what's more important, because sometimes you get things and you don't even like them anymore after so much time or whatever. And those things, the original ones from RH today, cost way too much money to be falling out of love with them. So there's that too. So I would say for something like the lighting or things like that, definitely try to find a more affordable option or whatever, and you can still get the look for less, so I'm glad that I went that route versus going ahead and getting the original ones, because that totally would not have been worth it. But I love the lights, I love the pendants, I just love them. I love their chandeliers as well. RH just has some beautiful lights, and they still do, and they still sell those lights too. So that's another thing about some trending items or whatever, they kind of come and they go. RH stuff, it sticks around for a while. It becomes popular, it may become less popular, but they're still selling it. It's still out there. So anyway, now let's go ahead to the next item that I want to talk about. And that is the Gallerie ellipse vase. The ellipse vase, I would say maybe 5 years ago, got really, really popular. A lot of people on YouTube were sharing their ellipse vase. And this is a very, very, very nice vase. But I do have some regrets about this purchase. Now, I purchased it at Gallerie, and it was a splurge item. And I have loved decorating it throughout the years. Like, it can be decorated in so many different ways from one season to the next. This time of year, I absolutely love putting my live flowers in it. During the fall, I do stems. During Christmas time, I may do a little Christmas scene in there with the faux snow and I've done a lot with this ellipse vase over the years, and I still love it, but I kind of have a love-hate relationship with it, if you will. And the thing that I don't like about it is it's not easy to work with. It's heavy, it's large, it's awkward, like, so if you're not using it to store it somewhere, it's hard to find unless you have unlimited space or some way you can store it or whatever. It's glass, obviously, so you can't just put it anywhere. So that's what I've struggled with, is what to do with it when I'm not using it. And for that reason, I would say I kind of regret the purchase sometimes. I feel like I kind of always have to use it because then I don't have to worry about storing it. And sometimes I just get tired of looking at it. So I've had it now, I'm going to say at least 5 years that I've had it, I think. And is it something that I would repurchase if something were to happen to this one? No. But it's beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful vase. I love it. Now, this next item that I want to talk about is a CB2 item, and it is the Tesso shelves, those bookshelves. When they came out, and I would say it was probably about 5 years ago too, where they got on my radar, and you started to see them a lot, and I love them. I love the sleekness of the shelf. Like, they weren't really deep. They were different. They had the glass shelves on them. I just thought they were a good look. They came in multiple colors and everything, and I thought they would look perfect in my bedroom. But when I started looking at the price again, I was like, there's no way I could not, because I needed 2 of them. And I just wasn't trying to drop that kind of money for them. So again, I went on the search for something similar, and I found some shelves on Amazon that I ultimately ended up purchasing, and I've had them now for, I think it's been about 5 years. I have enjoyed having those shelves in my room, but there's something else that I kind of have had a love-hate relationship with. Like, sometimes I just get really, really tired of them. Like, I just need something different. So I'm really glad that I did not invest and spend the money on the Tesso shelves that I really liked. But it's been fun at the same time decorating them, and I change those out every season. I've shared a lot of different stylings for those shelves over here on the channel. But if something else were to come up, or some other idea that I come up with for what I want to do in my bedroom, I would probably release those shelves at this point. But again, I did not spend nearly as much money for them. I did not even spend the amount I would have paid for one on the 2 of them over at Amazon. And they're still available too. They're in my Amazon store if anyone is interested in them, as well as the pendant lights that I talked about at RH. The RH dupes that I have. I think they're still available too on Amazon. So I'll link those in my Amazon store too if anybody is interested in those. Now, the next item I want to talk about that definitely are trending, have been trending now for some years, and that's coffee table books, designer coffee table books. And I have definitely participated in this trend over the years, because I've been able to find the books at like Home Goods, TJ Maxx, Marshalls, that type of thing, for less expensive. So I have bought those, and I don't regret the purchase. I love the way that they look. They really, really elevate a style. So I do like that about the books. So I don't regret having them. I have them all over my house. I move them around the house. I do different book stacks. I stand them up, I sit them down, just all types of things. Can you achieve a similar look with a lesser expensive book? Absolutely. And I do that as well. I get books from the thrift store all the time that I use as coffee table books or whatever. But it's just something about those designer books that I have that I just love the way that they look. Now, are they overused on YouTube? Like, if you watch a lot of home decor, yeah, you get tired of seeing them over time or whatever. And I get tired of seeing them in my home too. So I move them around. I'll rotate them out, just to kind of get a different look. I'll switch them out with some thrifted books. I kind of do that with them, but I'm glad that I bought them, and I guess I don't regret that, making those purchases for those, because I did get them on discount. Now, the next items that I want to share are these Uttermost lamps. These lamps came on the scene Probably about 5 years ago as well. It's interesting how all of these items that I fell in love with were about 5 years ago, but they came on the scene and they became very, very popular. And then Home Goods had their version of them to come out, and that's when I jumped on these lamps. I thought they were really, really pretty, and I have actually had these styled in my bedroom for pretty much the entire time that I had them. There was a short time I had one on my entryway table, but that didn't last long because I love the way that it looked on in the bedroom. And I still love these after all these years, which is rare for me to like something for that long. Another thing that became hugely popular back about 5 years ago were faux fiddle leaf figs and olive trees. They became all the rage. The olive tree basically came out of the RH era as well, but the faux ones, you can get them anywhere. You can get them at any price point, and they are just gorgeous. I am a live plant person, and so I try to grow my own. I have fiddle leaf fig. It looks all kind of crazy. My plants just grow like crazy. I need to get better pots for them and all that, but that will come. I also use some faux plants as well, and this one here I have in a space that doesn't get a lot of light. This is my ZZ plant. She's growing really wild and needs to be repotted as well. But plants are a huge part of my decorating. And in my opinion, every well-curated home will definitely have some statement plants throughout the home because it makes it look more lived in and organic. I love that. Well, that is the end of today's video. I hope that it was helpful in some way to start to think of how you might want to curate things for your home that have longevity versus kind of staying away from those trendy items that are going to kind of be in style today and not tomorrow. Or if you do want to participate in a trend, definitely check out the cheaper version of it so that you don't do a major financial splurge on something that you may fall out of love with within a year or two. So that was the moral of the story. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did enjoy today's video, please give me a thumbs up. That lets me know that you like this type of content. Also, if you're not currently subscribed, I would love that you would consider hitting the subscribe button today before you leave. Also hit the post notification bell. That way we can stay connected. To all my returning family members, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I hope that I see you all over here on my next one. Bye-bye.